In Division 2 so far this weekend, it's been 2 out of 2 for Simon Cole, the man from Dartford, in his Iveco, distinctive pink and white machine. His son Archie Handy out there in his Volvo as well, the youngest man in the championship, ex-junior saloon car racer. So there'll be ones to watch in Division 2. Archie Handy actually starting alongside Michael Oliver, so the first of the 3 more experienced racers in Division 2. The full grid as follows: Adam Bint in the Mercedes on pole alongside John Bowler, number 14 with his MAN. Second row, 86 Tom O'Rourke in his International Navistar, the bonneted truck alongside David Smith, who had a strong run to second place in race 2 yesterday. Stephen Powell and David Jenkins on row 3 in their MANs. Then Stuart Oliver and Ryan Smith. 19 championships between those 2 drivers. Stuart Oliver, a one-time European champion as well, the Volvo and the Daimler Freightliner. Row 5 is Ricky Collins, first appearance of the season for the Yorkshireman. Missed Brands Hatch with work commitments. Starts alongside Martin Gibson in his MN, a returnee to the championship after a couple of years away. Row 6, we have 33 Neil Yates. Thankfully none the worse for his accident at Brands Hatch at Easter weekend. He spun and hit the barriers backwards coming out of Paddock Hill Bend. John Powell will start alongside him in, well, not an MAN at TGX he's in this weekend. He raced a borrowed MAN at the first meeting at Brands, but he's in his new DAF this weekend. Michael Oliver, after gearbox trouble yesterday, starts back on row 7 alongside Archie Handy with his Volvo. Then we've got Finland's Sami Ojanen in his Sisu alongside Simon Cole, and then the newer drivers in Division 2 towards the back. Jake Evans, who came into the weekend leading the points in Division 2 with his MAN after very good performance on his debut at Brands Hatch, starts alongside Callum Eason's MAN, the ex-Andrew Fulcher truck. And the final row, Graham Poole and Bradley Harvey. Graham Poole none the worse for a rollover at Brands Hatch on opening weekend. Truck is rebuilt and back out here. John Bowler is there. I didn't see him come out of the assembly area, but he is there, the blue and red MAN on the front row of the grid. But it is Adam Bint and his first ever Division 1 pole position. He's a former Division 2 champion, raced a Volvo White Aerodyne for many years in Division 2. It was the first truck to run on the new sustainable fuel that the championship now uses, supplied by BWOC fuel suppliers. Adam Bint was the pioneer of using that new sustainable fuel, which all the trucks now have to run on in this championship. BWOC bulk fuel suppliers, one of the partners of the championship this year, along with Napa Auto Parts UK, GT tyres, all the trucks running on GT tyres this year. Neil Yates Recovery. Neil, of course, their boss man racing in the championship this year. MV Commercial, that company owned by Tom O'Rourke. Total Care Vehicle Lift and Testing Equipment, Sylvie Fleet Management, BWOC we've mentioned, Transport Monitoring Systems, Truck and Driver Magazine, Freyhav Trailers, Valvoline Oils and LTS Global Solutions Logistics. Thank you to all the partner sponsors of the British Truck Racing Championship this year, a championship that dates back to the mid-1980s when the first truck race was held in November 1984 at Donington Park, attracted what I think is possibly still Donington's biggest ever crowd to see the trucks race. Back then, they were standard road going trucks. Some of them even left their trailers in the paddock and went out and raced. It was Giulio Ghislotti, the Italian, who won the first ever race. Although the Italians have not had a lot of success in international truck racing over the years. It's been the British, the Germans, the Dutch, and nowadays the Czechs and Hungarians who are successful in the European Championship. Norbert Kiss, the current European champion from Hungary. Sadly, the European Championship no longer visits the UK. We do see the occasional visit by a couple of Dutch drivers, usually on bonfire weekend at Brands Hatch. Willem Bredek came over last year with his Volvo. So it's Adam Bint on the pole then. Can he hang on in front? He's won here in Division 2 in the past at Pembrey. So ready for round 8 of the championship then. Watch for John Bowler. Just one win in his Division 1 career so far. That was at Thruxton, a race a couple of years ago that was stopped early after Neil Yates had a spectacular crash. Tom O'Rourke on the second row had a bit of bad luck with penalties at Brands Hatch in the opening round. This will be a rolling start. The Napa Auto Parts GT Tyres DAF pace truck leads them away. Looks like we got us a convoy. Watch for David Smith as well. He's been very strong this year. We saw him with his "You Shall Not Pass" performance in race 5 at Brands Hatch against his namesake Ryan Smith. He would not let the champion through. That's allowed Stewart and Michael Oliver to escape at the front of the field, with everybody else backed up behind David Smith. He finished second in race 2 yesterday, the white MAN. He's a former Division 2 champion of several years ago. I think it was about 2011 he won Division 2. Stephen Powell, an ex-Division 2 champion as well. David Jenkins has won Division 1 a few years ago. And then there are the two all-time greats of British truck racing, Stuart Oliver and Ryan Smith on row 4. Ricky Collett on row 5 alongside Martin Gibson. There's the first of the Division 2 trucks, Archie Handy, Simon Cole, Sami Ojanen. The Weaver-sponsored truck, that's John Powell's old DAF, being driven by Bradley Harvey. Graham Poole joining him at the back, one of the newcomers this season. Great to see new drivers coming into truck racing. Bit of a thin year in 2024 for the championship, but back to full strength. The full complement of 20 trucks out there. Alongside Neil Yates, there's John Powell. The Alco-sponsored DAF. It's Adam Bint on pole, the man from Oxfordshire. Can he take the first win for his new Mercedes? A new build of truck for the 2025 season. These trucks 5 tons in weight, almost 1,000 horsepower from their 12 and 13 litre turbocharged engines, limited electronically to 100 miles an hour. It's limited to 56 on the road. Many of these drivers with connections to the road haulage industry, a chance for them to let their hair down at weekends in their race trucks. Bint and Bowler lead them round. Mercedes and MAN. MAN, the numerically dominant make here. We've got the International out there, Volvos, Daimlers, an Iveco and Sisu as well in Division 2. A couple of DAFs. Pace truck pulling into pit lane. Here we go. Time to go truck racing here on the Pembrey circuit. Race 3 of the weekend for the British Truck Racing Championship. The revs are up and we're underway. Down towards that first hairpin. This is certainly going to be not for the faint of heart. Tom O'Rourke having a look at the inside. John Bowler is going to try and be late on the brakes to try and get ahead of the number 5, Adam Bint. Can he get all the way around the outside? I don't think he's going to. Are they all going to get through behind? There's a bit of push and shove out of the hairpin. Adam Bint has held his lead. Pick up who's leading in Division 2 in a moment as well. They've all made it round the hairpin okay for the first time. Leaders coming through towards the crossing. It's Bint who leads from Bowler. David Smith side by side between Tom O'Rourke and David Jenkins. Ryan Smith didn't get the start he wants. He's back among the 2 Team Oliver trucks there. Stuart Oliver's ahead of him. Martin Gibson as well, and Ryan Smith's going to be sent into a spin. Round goes the number 1 into the grass on the outside of the crossing, and he's going to have to make his way through. Well, he was in 8th place on the grid anyway. He's going to have to come through from the tail of the field. Now this is going to make things more interesting because Pembrey is not a particularly easy circuit to overtake on in a truck. Adam Bint has the lead, then David Smith up into 2nd place. He's had a bit of contact there. You can see a bit of damage to the front of his truck. David Jenkins is 3rd, Bowler is 4th. Stuart Oliver up into 5th position in the number 7. And well, this race suddenly got much more interesting. Let's see what Ryan Smith can do, whether he can come through the field from the back. Lead is with Adam Bint in the number 5 Mercedes Actros. 3 Team Oliver trucks almost running in formation there. We've got Stuart Oliver ahead of Martin Gibson. Michael Oliver, son of Stuart, is next. Then Tom O'Rourke, bit of damage to the front of the International Navistar. Then through come John Powell and Neil Yates. Ricky Collett behind them. Leading Division 2 is Simon Cole. He's already made his way through into the lead, the double winner from yesterday. Sammy Oyanen second, Jake Evans is up to third, and he's got Ryan Smith behind him. Ryan already starting to pick off the Division 2 runners after that spin at the crossing a lap ago. Here are the leaders. David Jenkins having a go. He's had a bit of a frustrating season so far, has the man from Stafford. Picked up some damage at Brands Hatch. He tangled with John Bowler at the start of race 3 at Brands Hatch on a slippery track surface and broke his radiator. So some lost points there. Looking to make up for lost points here at Pembrey. Up to full speed now in this 15-minute race. Martin Gibson with his teammate Michael Oliver behind him. Tom O'Rourke ahead of them. David Jenkins having a look. David Smith moves across to defend into the first corner. That's exactly what Adam Bint wants to see in his mirrors, because the harder they fight each other, the easier it will be for him to break away. Just about getting the truck stopped there, but that very tight hairpin. That hairpin's tight in a car, never mind a truck. Smoke out of the 101 of Martin Gibson there. Is he in trouble? We saw a puff of smoke there as he came through Hatchett's hairpin. It's cleared itself now. Now, where is Ryan Smith in the race order? He's up to 14th. He's got through past a couple of the Division 2 trucks, which are slightly less powerful. So Ryan Smith is in 14th place. He's making his way onto the tail of the Division 1 runners next time around. Swing their way through. The right-hander at Brooklyn. Still leading is Adam Bint. Running wide there, David Jenkins. He made a mistake. I heard a squeal of tyres. And he moves across to block Stuart Oliver there. So he's lost out to John Bowler. David Jenkins, he's down to 4th. Just ran wide there, I think, on the exit. Stuart Oliver next. Then it's Gibson. Then Michael Oliver. Stuart Oliver back in his Volvo VNL, rebuilt after a crash in qualifying at Thruxton last season. David Jenkins kicks up the dust on the outside line. Over the line they go. Adam Bint leading, not showing on the timing initially there because his transponder's not working. Mercedes still out in front. Tom O'Rourke ahead of the 2 Neil Yates recovery team trucks out. John Powell and Neil Yates himself. There is Ryan Smith. He's got ahead of the Division 2 runners now. He's got ahead of Simon Cole there into the hairpin. Simon Cole won't mind too much. He's busy leading Division 2 ahead of Sammy Oyanen and Jake Evans, the championship leader. Coming into this weekend, Simon Cole, the quickest man in Division 2 so far this year, had a few problems with his steering at Brands Hatch though, and went off in a couple of races. David Smith is reeling in Adam Bint slowly but surely for the race lead. The gap was 1.2 seconds just under last time around. John Bowler in 3rd place. There's O'Rourke under fire from Stephen Powell. Stephen Powell, who had a pretty disastrous opening weekend of the season at his local circuit of Brands Hatch. A bit of a slide there for David Smith. He power slid in celebration over the line yesterday. I don't think that was celebrating anything. He's pushing a little bit too hard to try and catch Adam Bint. He's caught the Mercedes. He's on his bumper there through the hairpin. Bint holds him off. Where can David Smith make the move? He's got the speed. He's trying to get the line away from Adam Bint. This reminds me of a win Adam Bint took in Division 2 here at Pembrey a few years ago. Oh, David Smith's run wide, coming through the crossing. He's going to lose 2nd place. John Bowler goes through. David Smith will be frustrated there, just ran out that little bit wide. And the number 14 of Bowler up the inside into 2nd place, the man from Cheshire. Adam Bint from Oxfordshire leads the way. David Smith comes from West Malling in Kent. David Jenkins behind him, he's from Staffordshire. Here's a battle in Division 2. Jake Evans has got ahead of the Finns, Sammy Oyanen, in the Mad Croc energy drink sponsored Sisu. A few years ago, Mika Mäkinen drove the Mad Croc Sisu and won the Division 2 title. Now Ryan Smith starting to pick off some of the Division 1 runners now. He's got past Ricky Collett in the 95, past Neil Yates in the 33. Where is Smith up to now? I think that puts him 10th in the number 1. Your leader is Bint ahead of Bowler. Who's this making his way down the outside? I think that's Michael Oliver, the number 12, trying to get ahead of his teammates. There is Flying Ryan. Yep, he's up to 10th place now. He's got 8.5 minutes left to try and catch our leaders. We have lost John Powell, I think, unfortunately, the number 6. Still one or two teething problems with his new DAF. He's not come through on that last lap. Here come your leaders through Senna up towards... Oh, and sideways there, Stuart Oliver. I thought he was going to go into a spin there. Martin Gibson will get past him. Son Michael up alongside him now. He's recovered that. There's our Division 2 leader, meanwhile. That's Simon Cole, the man from Dartford. Used to race the Mercedes Beast, as it was known. And John Bowler is in attacking mode here for the lead in Division 1. He had a quick look at the inside there at Carter's. Can he get up the inside of Adam Vince going into the hairpin? He's a good defensive drive. As I was saying earlier, he did similar in Division 2 a few years ago in his Volvo. He held off a pack of about 6 or 7 trucks to take a Division 2 win. Bowler has a look up the inside. There's a yellow flag out there, I noticed. That's because John Powell has pulled off on the run in there, and Adam Bint defending very vigorously there to try and stop John Bowler's attack, but he got the nose down the inside. They're almost side by side. Bowler on the grass on the inside of Spitfires. Bint fights back. They're bashing each other around here like a couple of stock car racers almost through the first section of the lap, and Bowler has to back out. He gets a wheel on the grass. David Smith sniffs a chance to take second place back again. Oh, this is terrific stuff. And Bint gets away at the front again as a result of that. So John Bowler back to square one. I thought they were going to go sliding off onto the grass there, the two leaders. And David Smith, if that had all gone wrong, could have found himself in the lead. Now he sends it up the inside. He tags the back of John Bowler. Get off, says the man from Stockport. And David Jenkins getting involved now as well. Has a look on the inside. But David Smith, a very defensive driver. I don't think he's going to stop David Jenkins getting through here, though. Martin Gibson's looking on from behind. They bash into each other again. Jenkins goes to the grass on the inside. 3 wide through Honda Curve. You can't do that. They have done it, and they've held it together as well. Bint and Bowler have been able to escape as a result of that. David Smith somehow is still third. Martin Gibson's up to fourth. Where's he come from? Then it's Jenkins. Michael Oliver taking his favourite outside line at the hairpin again. Stuart Oliver's busy watching all this. And look who's creeping up behind them. There's Ryan Smith. He's got ahead of Stephen Powell. And while this lot have all been squabbling with each other and taking chunks of bodywork off each other's trucks, Ryan's been able to creep up on them. Meanwhile, though, Adam Bint continues to lead. 5.5 minutes to go. John Bowler second, then this fight for third. And there is Ryan Smith. He's got ahead of Tom O'Rourke now. He's into 8th place. Now the 8th place finisher here in race 3 will start on pole for race 5. Is that Ryan Smith's strategy, I wonder? I doubt it. He's going to want to move as high up the places as he can. Here's the battle in Division 2, and Simon Cole is now being pursued by Jake Evans in his MAN. Could we see a change to the lead in Division 2, I wonder? There's John Powell's truck in the background, just sitting forlornly on the infield. Here's the battle in Division 2. Jake Evans is going for it, looking for his 4th win of his debut season. His cousin Craig raced that truck a few years ago and never quite managed a Division 2 win. I imagine Craig would have been pleased for his cousin, but a bit frustrated at the same time, because he got 2 wins from his first 2 starts. And meanwhile, in Division 1, John Bowler is all over the back of Adam Bint for the lead. David Smith looking on from 3rd place. This is terrific stuff. Races yesterday were relatively tame affairs, but today has been fantastic so far. They're coming up to lap Graham Poole in the treble 3. Needs to look in his mirrors here and keep out the way of the leaders. Through Carter's up towards Honda. Still Adam Bint looking for his first ever Division 1 win. Can he hold off John Bowler, looking for, I think, is only his 2nd Division 1 win. Graham Poole ahead of them. Need to get the lights flashing here. They had air horns, I'm sure they'd be sounding them. Bowler's having a look up the inside. They've met Graham Poole in the worst possible place on the hairpin, but he does get out of their way. Moves it out wide. Now the 3rd place man David Smith's got through. The rest of them have got to somehow get past Graham Poole on this twistier section. and we've got a red flag. The red flag is coming out with 3.5 minutes to go. What has happened? Something's happened further back in the pack. Oh, it's Stephen Powell. Stephen Powell has gone off at Dibeni. Okay, so the red flag out. So with 3.5 minutes left now, I think that will be result declared. Yes, the checkered flag appears on the timing screen, so that means that Adam Bint has got his first ever Division 1 win. Only the second meeting for his new Mercedes Actros, and he is provisionally your winner. Congratulations, Adam Bint. John Bowler second, David Smith third, Ryan Smith in 8th place. And he's got himself pole position for race 5. So the provisional result will bring you in a moment, but it looks as though Adam Bint has won it. And Simon Cole will possibly be feeling quite lucky there to see that red flag, because he was under fire from Jake Evans, but that means that Simon makes it 3 out of 3 in Division 2 this weekend. There is Stephen Powell's truck. He's gone off going through Dibeni. Looks like Steve is okay. Poor old Steve Powell. He's had a pretty disastrous season so far. Mechanical problems all weekend at Brands Hatch, and he missed the last 2 races with broken steering. And now an off this weekend. So that looks like it is end of race. Just wait to see if the trucks are going to come into Parc Fermé. The marshals and officials just checking on Steve Powell's truck there. He just slid off wide into the barriers there on the exit of Dibeni.
If you look from this side, directly where we are, you can see the flames. See it there? You think it's steep or not? Feel the side, I think. Might be their power or the other side. Feel the side of the engine back. Most of the side of it. Fight this.
Okay, we'll check the provisional results of that one then. Well done to Adam Bint, taking the win ahead of John Bowler. First ever Division 1 win for Adam and his new Mercedes. David Smith in 3rd, then Martin Gibson in 4th. David Jenkins, be ruining that mistake coming out of Brooklands when he ran wide, dropping to 5th. Then Michael and Stuart Oliver, Ryan Smith in 8th, and he'll get pole position for race 5. Couldn't have done that better if he'd planned it. Tom O'Rourke in 9th place, then Stephen Powell, Neil Yates and Ricky Collett. Stephen Powell, of course, will not be classified as he brought out the red flag, though. Simon Cole, the winner of Division 2, ahead of Jake Evans and Sammy Oyanen. The other finishers, Bradley Harvey, Callum Eason, Archie Handy and Graham Poole. We lost John Powell early on, of course. So well done to Adam Bint. He certainly is a fan favourite. And hopefully we will shortly be able to hand down to Pointy if the trucks pull into Parc Fermé. And he could possibly grab a word with Adam Bint. But the trucks are making their way round on another lap at the moment. Race control have declared checkered flag, so at least according to the timing screen, so I don't think we're going to see the race resume. So I imagine the trucks are going to head into Parc Fermé very shortly. Ryan Smith gets the point for fastest lap as well, 1:11.305. Who got fastest lap in Division 2? I think that was Jake Evans. Let's head down to Parc Fermé as the trucks make their way in.
Right then, well, not the start to the day that Steve Powell was looking for. Fire team are now officially on the wagon. We can see 3 people. Steve is in there now to help them guide the fire extinguisher, because I'm not sure they could actually see the flames. They wouldn't allow the mechanics onto the grass, of course, but still, that is a rather large issue. Yeah, not great news for Sepa. However, if we can find him, I want to go and try and have a word. I mean, the thing with the paddock now and with the pit lane now is that although there will be mixed feelings of I wanted to finish the race, I'm annoyed I didn't finish the race, there's also nobody wants to see someone else's truck go up in flames, and that is the priority, safety. And among these drivers, they want everyone to have a fair shot at and getting out there racing. That's what we're here to do. So if we can manage to come across, no, he's gone over there. Is he parking up? We might have time. Come on, Paul. Keep up, Paul. Right now.
Let me get.
Do you want a handout? You okay? Oh, beautiful. What a dismount. Now, not quite the way you wanted to cross the finish line, if that's what we can call it. But I think it's safe to say, even if they reverse a lap, we're still in first place,
Yeah,
Mr. Bin.
we led it. We've kept our cool, kept it going, defended, and that's all we got to do.
Absolutely fantastic. Now, before we move on, totally, semi-related to truck racing, I think we've both got a #1 fan out there in the world,
Noah.
going by the name of Noah, yeah. And I believe it's his birthday coming up this week, isn't it?
It is, yes, and he's in the paddock now as well.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Hi, Noah. Hi, mate. Oh, well, we'll have to go and shake his hand. And what a treat to get to see you
Yeah,
taking a trophy
definitely.
home.
Thank you very much.
It's been a long road, hasn't it? Right.
Congratulations.
Celebrations from the paddock. Remember, this is what it's about. Other drivers congratulating each other. Let's go and have another chat to Dave Smith. Oh no! Where is he? You're supposed to take this off when he's finished. Come on. Unbelievable. No media training whatsoever. There we go. Right. Dave, what are you doing, mate? What's happening? You've been putting something new on your Weetabix.
Yeah, actually, how do you know I have Weetabix in the morning? You've been watching me. Yeah, I mean, I could have just made a couple of mistakes. I reckon I could have pushed for a win then. A little bit overexcited, I think, 'cause, you know, where I was. But yeah, we've really found some pace.
It was a spicy first few laps of that race. I mean, 4 minutes left on the clock when they did eventually red flag it because of Steve Powell's little engine fire. Yeah, I mean, you know, you've obviously finished in a good position, but do you think people were kind of pushing a little bit harder than they were yesterday out there?
I think we're all a little bit closer anyway, to be fair. I think the driving standards, I think anyone would say it, we are just closer. We was pushing hard. To be fair, I mean, I was catching them again. If it wasn't red flagged, hopefully I would have been back up with them and we could have had a bit more of a go, but I'm happy with third.
It was great to see the tussle. Great driving. Thank you very much for talking to us. Right, it looks like they're all heading back now. I'll just shut your door. Oh, pop that in there. Shut your door. There we go. It's all part of the parcel here, you know. It's a service we provide, shutting and opening doors. It looks like we've lost John Bowler. That is definitely not him in the truck. But of course, unless I want to get stuck over here on the infield, we need to clear ourselves back over there before they get the next race out on. They have already recovered Steve Powell's truck. So, without wanting to cause too much delay to the schedule here at Pembrey, I'm going to throw back to Dave. Dave, what we got coming up next?